what is called territorial dominance. This is when there is a certain spirit that is ruling in a certain territory, controlling a certain sphere, controlling a certain space, and has its own agenda, its own plan to fulfill. If you don't realize as a child of God that there is what is called territorial powers and spirits, you never rise. That is why constantly, sometimes I take prophetic drives and prophetic walks, commanding war, declaring war against forces and powers that are holding destinies bound. What is a territorial power? Let me show you in the book of Ephesians chapter 6. In the book of Ephesians chapter 6 verses 10, it says, "Finally, my brethren, being strong in the Lord and in the power of his might, put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Imagine the Bible is telling you are fighting against spiritual wickedness in high places, and everything that happens, you take it physical. Everything that takes place, you are just in the physicality. It says against principality. A principality is a territorial spirit. These are powers and forces that govern a certain territory, a certain sphere. Like the prince of Persia, that was a principality that knew that David is praying for the release of the destinies of the people and had to go and withhold the answers of David. What do you think was the answer that David was withheld from by the prince of Persia? The Bible in the book of Daniel chapter number 9 reveals to us. It says Daniel realized that there was 3 years for the prophecy of the release from captivity of those that were taken captive by Nebuchadnezzar, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, and a lot more. When he saw that 70 years is about to come to be fulfilled, and the people are still in captivity, and there was no sign of their release, the Bible says he engaged into a prayer and fasting. And the Bible says he began to pray and to inquire of the Lord, to ask for mercy. And the Bible says immediately when he started praying, God answered his prayer. But the Bible says the prince of Persia withheld. Why was he withholding the answers? There were destinies that were going to be released. Territorial dominance. This is when there are powers and forces that are saying who is more popular, who is more famous, who is making more news. These are powers that can control even the minds, the thoughts of pastors, that they can fight other pastors. And they don't realize that what they are doing, their actions, are out of the spirit that wants to destroy their unity so as not to prevail as a church. Territorial dominance. This is when you are battling with the souls of people. You are battling with who is free and who is not free. Who is a drunkard that has to be saved and who is saved. Those that are saved, the devil still wants to draw them backwards. Those that are not saved, the devil wants to cause them to be on the same place for a long time. So if you don't realize that the time that you go born again, you entered into a war that you have to declare day and night, you will always be defeated. Matter of fact, the day you were born to fight. Born to fight. Born to fight. You are born to fight.